I'm very envious of your Christmas Story onesie with a Wu-Tang shirt underneath.
It lets you know that I'll shoot your eye out. Like, and I got my super duper warm Iron Asylum watch cap.
What? I have one watch cap somewhere, but I'm pretty jealous of that one. That's a good looking watch cap, Iron Asylum. Whenever I finally make my way up there to the Tea Time Peninsula, I'm going to have to get one.
I couldn't wear it for a long time because I had so much hair that, it wouldn't fit on my head. It just kept kind of sliding off. But now that I cut off all my hair, it looks way cooler.
I mean, it does look good with the beard. I mean,
yeah,
a beard and a watch cap is just really what we all need in our lives.
It's a good look.
Uh-oh.
It's a good look.
It is. And it suits you. It's like you want to go out and murder people like you're a rampaging Norseman, but you're also a hipster at the same time.
Yes. It lets you know I like my coffee a very specific way.
Anywho,
Scottie,
coffee, cold temperatures. What are we here to talk about?
Well, we're here to talk about a couple of different things. First thing, before we get started, I want to ask what the temperature is down there, just for comparisons.
I'm pulling it up. Right now, it is sunny and 48. Feels like 46.
We're here today to talk about Elf. We're also here to talk about Matt Brown from AK-49, his organization, Kenai Kids Need Christmas. By the way, it finally came in 20 degrees, feels like 6.
Oh, God, I don't want to live there anymore. I'm sold. I'm not moving to Alaska.
You'll be missed. You will be missed, sir.
I'll come visit you, but that's about it.
Thank you. Well, we're here to talk about Elf. We're here to talk about Kenai Kids Need Christmas. We're here to talk about the Orca Theater and one of the things that they're doing right now during the holiday season, which is showing different Christmas classics. And if tickets are $5 for the movie, but if you want to get in for free, all you've got to do is bring a toy to donate to Kenai Kids Need Christmas. And you don't necessarily have to go to the movie. You can still, drop a gift off at the Orca Theater. But they are showing some cool movies during the month of December that are absolutely worth sharing. And some of these movies, because they're on streaming services, are absolutely worth talking about. The first one that is coming up on Friday is Wonder Woman. They're replaying the original Wonder Woman because at the end of this month, the new Wonder Woman 1984 comes out. And that's going to be coming up on, it's going to be showing, I believe, Friday through Sunday at 7 p.m. and on the 18th and the 20th at 7:10. And I'm not sure if that is necessarily, yes, that is one of the bring a toy, get in free. But moving on to specifically to the Christmas movies, which is what we're here to talk about.
No one cares about Wonder Woman. Let's just get it out there in the ether.
You said it, not me. Christmas Vacation, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, starring Chevy Chase as the un and only Clark Griswold. All right. That also starts playing on Friday. Come in with a toy, get in for free, or $5 tickets. Now, the times for that are Friday through Sunday, 2:30 and 4:45. So you can go in, catch an afternoon showing, and make it home for dinner. All right. But that is going on from the 12th, the 11th to the 13th, Friday through Sunday. Moving on to the next week, which is the 18th and 20th. That's The Grinch, which is currently streaming on Netflix. That is the Jim Carrey version, not the Drew Carey version, which is a completely different movie. However, may be available on Hulu.
Is there a Drew Carey Grinch out there?
No, there's not. So if you went looking for the true Grinch on
Like,
Hulu. You're gonna be there for a minute. I'm really sorry I lied to you, but it was funnier that way.
just searching for days.
Um, but also
Okay.
Rise of the Guardians is going on from 18th to the
Yes.
20th. This is one I wasn't familiar with until you told me about it, I believe, which is the Easter
My
Bunny.
favorite take on Santa. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so Santa, the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, the Sandman, and Jack Frost, who, by the way, made appearances in the Santa Claus 3, so it's still kind of in the same universe, maybe.
It really is.
Um, but going back to the Fat Man conversation, do those folks exist in the Fat Man's universe?
I mean, I think they're probably an offshoot universe. Or which folks are we talking about? Like the Easter Bunny and all of them?
Easter Bunny, Sandman,
I think, yeah.
Jack Frost, because Jack
I
Frost,
think
I specifically remember
they've
Jack
got to
Frost
be there.
and Mr. Sandman in Santa Claus 3. So I'm just saying they may still exist in
Yes.
the universe. But
They've got to. It's a multiverse for a reason. They're all there.
absolutely. Absolutely. And Rise of the Guardians is a take on that particular universe. And you said you liked it. So we're going to talk a little bit about your taste in Elf in just a moment, because Rise of the Guardians is showing on the from the 18th to the 20th at 2:30 and 4:50. Yeah. So there we go. There's that. Let's get back to what really, really matters, and that is Elf. And here's the Wikipedia breakdown. Elf is a 2003 American Christmas comedy film directed by Jon Favreau, starring Will Ferrell, James Caan, Zoe Deschanel, Mary Steenburgen, Daniel Tay, Bob Newhart, and Ed Asner. The film centers on Buddy, a human who is adopted and raised by Santa's elves. He learns about this and heads to New York City to meet his biological father, while also spreading Christmas cheer in a world of cynics in the process. All right, Scottie, tell me about this movie.
What a fantastic movie. And I know when we talked, I told you that this was the first movie I saw on opening day. That was actually, I was misinformed about dates. I didn't see it on opening day, but it is the only movie I've ever gone on like a cousin's date or a cousin's outing with. We saw it Thanksgiving 2003 in theaters, and we were like the only people in there. And it's such a good movie. And I'm looking at the other lineups of movies from that year, and I think it was just exactly what we needed that year.
So
go ahead, Bill.
To be fair, no one was in the theater because it had come out like on the 7th, and it had 3 weeks to run through the audience. So that's why that could be a reason that
yeah, October 9th was the release date. Yeah.
Yeah. So it had time.
It'd been out for over a month when I saw it. Yeah.
I can see why you would like this film. This is a really smart film. There's a lot going on in this film. There's a lot of questions and things that I didn't notice about this film through the times that I've watched it. And to be fair to this film and to myself, I've never sat down and watched this film from beginning to end. But I got to watch it a little bit with my kids last night, and it was awesome. There were a lot of things that I know I wouldn't have gotten when this film first came out. There are things that I'm picking up now that I'm watching it with my kids, and it's like, oh, that's a really, really sweet thing. Seeing little different things, the way that he interacts with his brother. There are a lot of relationships in this movie that are just based on kindness and nothing else. But there were a lot of things that as a grown-up, you watch and you're like, oh, they got Artie Lang from the Howard Stern Show to play Santa. And when you realize that's who that was,
Is that who that was?
yeah, yeah, that was the guy from Beer League, not Beer Fest. Two totally different movies. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So Artie Lang plays Santa in that film, and if you're an adult and you know who Artie Lang is, you know that's a very funny person to play Santa Claus. That would be like Santa Claus playing Artie Lang. Um, so as a film though, like for me, that was it, being that it's directed by Jon Favreau, right? A guy who's been in a lot of movies, a guy that's done a lot of stuff and is now doing Mandalorian, right? It's a transition, but like he is that guy. I like that he also
I don't know much
gave
about
himself a
producers and
cameo.
all of that. And did he?
Yeah, he had a cameo.
Who was the cameo?
He was Dr. Ben. He was the doctor that James Caan brought Buddy to go see.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. That and it was a really, there's a lot of all-star people in this that you just didn't realize were going to be in it. Like, I'm trying to think who. There's another actor when he's talking. He's talking to the lady at the very end. He's talking to the news reporter. If you didn't know like he was in it, you wouldn't think of it. Fudge. Give me a second; it'll come to me.
well,
Sorry, that's my rant.
Totally cool. Totally cool. We can talk about some of the things that Jon Favreau has moved on to do, including the Iron Man movies. He did The Lion King. He did The Jungle Book. He did Cowboys and Aliens. He did Iron Man 1 and 2. All right. The dude has made some really, really good movies. And now he's moved on to The Mandalorian. The guy gets to make whatever he wants to make because, dude, he made this and he made Iron Man 1 and 2. So, like, the guy knows how to make big, huge, gigantic movies, and he knows how to make small movies. His 2001 movie Made, with Vince Vaughn and Peter Falk, he's been doing this for a minute, and he really seems to like Faison Love, which is another very, very cool thing. Faison Love ended up, if you're wondering who he was the boss. He was the supervisor of Buddy the Elf at the department store. So there you go.
Okay, the big black guy, right?
The gigantic black, yeah. So
yes,
yeah.
But yeah, dude. So yeah, we're talking about producers and everything. We're going down rabbit holes, like you said. I just want to talk about Elf directly and
Let's talk
what a
about
great movie it is.
Let's go back.
I don't care about all these extra people.
All right, let's not.
I mean, let's talk about Will Ferrell and Elf and how his mannerisms are so amazing.
I was the one-liners for me.
You do go down some deep rabbit holes.
The one-liners for me, those were the things that really kind of got me. Some of the things that he would just say when he was frustrated. Buddy the Elf became, I don't know, I don't want to say a mascot for not giving up, or working real hard, because when he was throwing snowballs, when he was putting together snowballs, or he was putting up the Christmas display for the department store, he worked really fast and he worked really, really hard. He might not have worked Elf hard, because what we're learning about those folks is like that high sugar diet isn't so bad for hard work. Between this and, again, Fat Man, because these movies exist inside of that same universe, you can't have Buddy the Elf without having Fat Man. So yeah, it's a universe where Buddy the Elf is, Tommy the Tank Engine. He's a motivation. He's a motivational character.
He really is, and I love just. I think Will Ferrell's reactions, like his facial expressions and his body language, was phenomenal in this movie. Probably the best he's ever had for any movie he's done. Just like the wonderment and the way he used his face in this movie was everything that it should have been for somebody who's never seen the high-paced world that we live in and grew up knowing talking snowmen who travel the world as nimulus clouds.
Yeah, his interaction with people and coming from a completely different universe where everyone is kind and everyone is sweet and you're eating lots of candy and everyone just wants to, make everyone happy one day a year and everything smells like candy canes. Great. So you're going to take that kid and you're that adult who spent 30 years of their entire life in this one environment, and you're going to drop them in New York City. Oh, by the way, Sonny Corleone is your dad.
That is, I did enjoy Sonny Corleone being the father. That made my life really happy when I watched that for the first time.
So it makes you kind of wonder.
How do you take the two polar opposites of human beings?
Okay. However, at the same time, weird relationships. Mary Steenburgen went on to be in Step Brothers with Will Ferrell a few years later, where she again played his mother. What happened to her husband in that movie that left her
Maybe he's got mom issues.
Again, same universe, just saying.
That is, and Buddy the Elf said he was going to live there forever, and then he did have a little brother, Brendan. What was his brother's name in Elf? I don't even remember.
I don't know. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but he had a little brother, so he did have a lot. His life fell a lot from the time he was Buddy the Elf in New York to fighting, what's his name? Mike C. Riley.
John C. Riley.
And whatever. Riley.
All good. You're perfect. I love you.
John C. Riley.
Yeah. Again,
that's a good, I like that connection.
Yeah. Yeah, she has a history of being his mother.
We just need, she could be my mother. I'd be okay with that.
Man, it would be weird though. Like,
anyways, I'd get over
it. All right. So would you recommend Elf?
I would, a million times over, I would recommend Elf. And I just had the guy's name who did a cameo, and now I've lost him again already. I'm so terrible at this. I'm not as good as your other Siri, and I apologize for that.
That's okay. We still love you.
But yes, I mean, this movie, this is a feel good movie that's gonna just make you feel good no matter when you watch it, who you watch it with. It's never gonna become a out of date movie. It just stays phenomenal. Every year that I watch it, it's just still so good, and it's so full of just wonderment and kindness, and it's a feel good movie, man. Go see it. Take your kids to see it. Bring a toy, and be Buddy the Elf. Bring a toy to some kid who needs a toy while you come see this movie.
Right on. Well, Scottie, thank you very, very much for your time. Are there any films in the long list of movies that they've got coming this Christmas time that you are excited to watch?
Well, every year I'm excited to watch National Lampoon's Christmas. I mean, it's not Christmas until you watch that. On Thanksgiving, I watch that movie because that means it's time to get ready for Christmas. We have Thanksgiving dinner, and then I watch National Lampoon's Christmas to get my mojo going. Elf is another one of my top 3, and Rise of the Guardians is. Have you seen it yet? Have you actually sat down and watched it?
No.
You need to sit down and watch Rise of the Guardians because that is also one of my top favorite Christmas movies. It's just so good. It makes me happy. It makes me smile. Happiness
is key, my friend.
Happiness is key, and we should spread more of it, more than just 1 month a year, 1 day a year. We should always be kind to each other, and that's what this movie's about, is just being kind to one another.
I want to talk to a shrink about the emotional trauma of being dumped in New York City at 30 years old after spending your entire life in the North Pole believing you're an elf. So let's talk about Step Brothers real quick, because he had a freaking
Okay.
relationship with his shrink.
Yeah. I don't know how that woman got her diploma, but he latched onto her pretty quick, and she was really the first woman he had interaction with in the movie outside of his mother, whereas Zoe Deschanel was the first woman he had interaction with outside of the North Pole. So it's kind of love at first sight. He just, first woman he gets to talk to, he's in love with.
Damaged individuals. They're damaged individuals. The last time he talked to a woman, he had to leave New York City. And his father, Sonny Corleone,
And apparently he left his child behind. Yeah.
Yeah, Sonny Corleone was like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
I'm out.
I don't know how we explain the jerk brother in the Step Brothers, but there was a jerk brother.
Maybe they just don't show him in Elf.
Ooh, you know what? Maybe that is her older kid.
I don't know.
Maybe that is her older child. Maybe she left.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking.
All right. She like Sonny Corleone, had a child in the past. And this brother came from nowhere, and he's running off of trauma as well. He's running off of, he wasn't given enough love, and so this is how he has to receive his love every day, by one-upping everyone in his circle, whether it is his wife, whether it is his mother, whether it is brother. He always has to one-up whoever is there. And that's what leads to his wife having an affair with his new brother. They're tied together, dude. They're absolutely tied together, and they're traumatized people doing traumatic things to each other.
I can see it, yeah. Because after she saw Buddy come back into their lives, she sees Buddy come back into his dad's life, and she's like, oh my goodness, such a meaningful connection. So she goes out and seeks out her son that she gave up for adoption.
Knowing he was put up for adoption, that's what led to his complex. Go see Elf. Go see Elf. And go see Christmas Vacation.
There you go.
And bring a toy. And get some popcorn. Fuck it. Get some popcorn.
Definitely. Bring 2 toys.
Yeah. Yeah, bring it.
I figured out who the cameo was that I was talking about at the end.
Okay.
It was Matt Walsh. Matt Walsh does a cameo at the end of Elf.
Matt Walsh. From what?
He's in Ted. He's in Hangover. He's a really great side note actor.
Okay.
Let's see. Ted,
all right. Dudes that went on to do stuff.
Teacher. Yeah. Yeah. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He's got a whole bunch. Just look him up. Matt Walsh on IMDb. And once you see him, you'll know who I'm talking about.
Okay. I will definitely. I'll definitely take a look. See.